Going on, everybody? It's been a minute since I've done a video on this channel. So this channel, last time I did a video, or last time I uploaded a video was probably a year ago. But I'm still here. So I've been doing videos on, I have another YouTube channel for our business. We do digital print design work. The company's called Custom Made by Us. So that's where I've been posting some content. But today's video, I'm going to demonstrate, this video is more for me to send a link to buddies of mine so they can, instead of me trying to send this through my phone, which would take forever, I just send them a link and let them watch it. So it's actually for dry fire training with firearms. That's what I'm going to go over. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the actual firearm and the laser round that I've purchased that I use inside the firearm, and then we'll go out in the garage and actually use it in on the system that I have out there. A couple of systems that I have out there they're both from the same company. No, they're two separate companies. One's Dry Fire Online, and the other one is Laser Ammo. So Laser Ammo is the actual company where I bought the laser cartridge from. So let's get into it. I'm going to turn this around so you can see it. So this is the company that I bought the cartridge from. It's called Laser Ammo. And they have this one, I've already kind of taken it apart out of the kit. There's a little device that goes inside the barrel. There's a 223 round adapter for 223 to go inside of a 223 barrel. There's a 45, a 40, and that's also for the 223. But this is ultimately what the round looks like. As one end is, obviously where your striker hits it with a firing pin. Comes out and taps on that, and when it does, it produces, if I just click on it there, you'll see a little laser show up. So that's what that does. So the way it works is you put the cartridge, again, this is, let me show everybody that the gun's clear. No rounds in the, anytime you're working with your firearm for dry fire training, you always want to make sure there's zero live ammunition in the area that you're working on your guns. So no rounds in the magazine. We are clear in the chamber. So the way this works now is you take the cartridge and it just sits down inside the barrel, like so. So now it's in there. This piece threads, goes inside the barrel, and then threads into the end of the laser. I can feel that's threading on. It actually feels like it's moving the cartridge. So let me see if I put my hand on it. Yeah. All right. So it doesn't need to be super tight. You'll have this sticking out the end of the barrel. And then they give you this little orange piece that threads onto that. It's got a little bit of a bevel. So it goes up against the barrel. So we screw this into place. Let's kind of snug it up. What that does is it gives you a good alignment of the laser system that's in there. Plus, it's letting you know that there's no rounds in the gun. That obviously there's no way to shoot a live bullet through the gun. A little safety feature. So when you rack the slide just a little bit, enough to reset the trigger. Now, if you put this on target, I'll shoot over there somewhere. Actually, you know what? I'm going to shoot at that bag down there on the ground. So if I get my green dot on sight, bing. I don't know if you can see that on camera or not, but right there, see, I can't see it because it's too far away. My vision's not the best. So we'll do one right here. And you can just see it right there on the wall. So the only downside with dry fire training is when you pull the trigger, it hits the laser, but the slide does not reciprocate, doesn't go back. So it doesn't reset the trigger. So having to be able to reset the trigger to shoot again, you have to pull the slide back so it resets the trigger. I am waiting. I'm ordering. It's from a company called Dry Fire Magazine. It's a special magazine that goes in that does a trigger reset. The other thing with dry fire training is you don't have the recoil. You know, so me firing my firearm it's not truly accurate because I'm not dealing with recoil, and then trying to get my sights, my green dot back on target. So that's one thing that you don't really contend with. There is a company out there called Cool Fire Training. So I do have their system. I did have a couple of issues with it, so they RMA'd it. I'm waiting for the replacement one to come so I can test it out again. But it's a CO2 system. It actually takes and charges. Oops, I don't want to lose stuff in this little bag. There's a special barrel that goes inside your gun, and that barrel then has this device that screws on to the front of that barrel. It has a quick fill adapter, so this is where you put your CO2 charge on that, and then this red part is the laser. So what it does then is when you pull the trigger and the firing pin hits the striker on the barrel, it releases CO2, and that CO2 then makes the slide go back and it resets the trigger. So it works really well. When it worked, when I first bought it, I used it for a couple of hours and it worked great. But then over time, it just started getting less and less powerful. It wasn't firing right, so they're going to send me a new barrel, rod and spring. We're going to see if that'll fix it. So that's what this kit is here for dry fire. So dry fire training. If you're into firearms and you're into carrying a weapon, concealed carry, you really need to be training at the range. You do need range time. You need to get those freedom seeds downrange, but it's expensive, so it's ideal to practice with your firearm, with your optics on it, with your configuration, with your trigger, your take up, your wall, your brake, all that stuff where where the trigger resets right there, stuff like that. You really want to train with the weapon that you're carrying. So, and again, if you're not training or you haven't trained or you're not proficient at pulling your firearm from your holster and getting on target and getting good shots in, you really shouldn't be carrying a firearm. That's the reality of you don't want to hit the person behind the threat or the person next to the threat. I mean, you need to be good at what you're doing. And I'm guilty of that. When I first got my firearm and moved to the state that I live in, I started carrying a weapon, and I hadn't trained. I mean, I wasn't really that good using a firearm. Go to the range once or twice, and getting rounds on target was not impressive. So it's like, what am I doing? So don't do that. if you want to protect you and your family and people around you, train. I do dry fire training every day. I'm dry fire training. So then when I go out and I shoot actually at the range or somewhere, I can actually see the proficiency. I can see how much better I'm getting. I've got a bunch of different systems. I don't know if you've ever heard of the Mantis. The Mantis is actually a very nice training system. I'll show this just real quick. So the Mantis X goes on to my magazine here. So if I slide this on this Picatinny rail, just like so. So this little guy then Bluetooths to my phone. There's an app on my phone, and this thing monitors my hand movement when I'm training. So it's super sensitive. I mean, you literally could like lay this down on my desk and just barely touch the grip. And if you watch the app, you can see it senses it. It's like an earthquake sensor practically. I mean, it's that sensitive. So it knows the movement of your hand when just before you shoot. So then it actually can detect when you're pulling the trigger back. It knows that feeling. And then when your trigger breaks, it knows that portion, and then when it resets, and then the movement after the reset. So when you watch the graph that this thing records, it shows a blue line, which is pre, and then as you start pulling up the trigger, hitting the wall and then break or firing, that actually shows like a yellow line, and then as it breaks, there's a white X on the screen, and then once the trigger resets, and you're just kind of getting back onto target or doing something, there's a red line. So it shows you exactly how you handled the gun. And then if you're using their target training system, it'll actually show recorded, it'll record where your shots went. And it tells you what you did wrong. So like if you're pulling, say you're pulling the trigger and the gun, as you pull the trigger, the gun's doing this and you're shooting to the left. The Mantis X system sees that, and it tells you that you're doing that, and it tells you what you need to do to correct that. So at some point I'll probably do a more in-depth video so you can actually see all of that in process. But today's video, again, has nothing to do with the Mantis X. But I just thought I would share that. So the Mantis X is very nice for training. You can, if you get the Mantis X, this is the Elite, I think, where you can actually use this on your gun for dry fire training, but you can also put it on your gun when you're doing live fire training. It does come with an adapter to attach this to your shotgun, because you can do it with your shotgun as well. The other training system I have is this one here. This is the Mantis X Blackbeard X. And what this is for your AR-15. What it does is it replaces your bolt carrier group. It's replaced with this, the charging handle. It's all one piece. There is a laser in the end of that, and that looks down your barrel. What happens with this is there's a little mechanism here that resets your trigger. So the magazine that goes with the system is it's the battery pack. So there's two, prongs there. So this realistically would go, what is that? Oh, it just looks like some fuzzy stuff. You know what, I don't think it'll work out of the gun, obviously. But there's a button on here that then when you press this down, it'll connect to your phone, to the mobile app. There's a charging port here so you can charge this, but this does the exact same thing for dry fire training. This is solely for dry fire training because obviously you've replaced your bolt carrier group and your charging handle, so you're not going to put real rounds in it. But it does reset the trigger, and it does monitor how you are handling the weapon. and tells you what it sees, whether it's good or bad. So that is the Mantis Blackbeard X for the AR-15. And that has absolutely nothing to do with this video for dry fire training. Today's video, again, is just the company that I bought this from. So this is Laser Ammo. And they sell this kit. And again, we just went through that kit on how to, put that into your firearm, your weapon. So you can actually, get your little laser when you pull the trigger. So next thing I'm going to do is, actually, you know what, there's this too. I had bought this guy. It's kind of interesting. So this is the same premise. It's got a little laser. When the back of this is struck, it's a little rubber pad. It projects a laser. But what's weird is this laser cartridge does not work, as the O-ring comes off, does not work with some of the targets, some of the reactive targets that I have that are supposed to, I'll show you out in the garage. They're supposed to react to the laser when you shoot them, but this laser does not work, but the new one that's now inside of my firearm does work. So let's head out in the garage so you can see. So these targets from Laser Ammo, this is their little brain box here. There's their logo. So we turn this on. Shows program 5, so we'll go to program 0. There's 7 programs, including P0. But what it does is it works with these targets. So we'll turn this guy on. I've got one up here. And again, you can put these wherever you like. Turn this one on. These, I'm just putting them here for demonstration purposes. And this one here. So they're all on. Excuse me. So P0, program 0, all it does, so if I click start, it goes to 0. So then if I take and I don't know why that one's beeping. Maybe the battery's low. Well, you know what? It's actually thinking it's detecting shots. There might be a light source or something that's causing that. Turn the light out. It's kind of dark, but you should still be able to see it. So I'm going to do start. So right now it's set to 0. So these targets, being interactive, the first one I'm going to shoot is going to be that one right there on top of my printer. So when I shoot it, you'll see it light up. Second one I'm going to shoot, it's up here in the corner of that cabinet. So I'm going to shoot that one up there. You'll see it light up. Third one below my logo. Fourth one to the left. Fifth one over there. So again, the downside between each shot, I was having to cycle my slide to reset the trigger. So, and you can see this device, all it has done is counted how many times I've shot those targets. So if I go to program 1, P1, and I put you back down again, and I click on start, it does a countdown from 4. You'll see all the targets will light up. So then what you do is you shoot each target to put it out. What the software did and the controller is it told me it took me 13.09 seconds to shoot those 5 targets. Now again, I'm cycling my slide, so if I didn't have to cycle the slide and I could just go from target to target, you're going to be a lot faster. So hopefully I can get that dry fire magazine sooner than later. So if we move on to the next program, P2 says hit 4. So I'm going to click start. It counts down from 4. And I don't think the targets, they do come on, so I think I'm going to miss my opportunity. Or maybe not. Maybe it's not timed. So it wants me to hit that green one. It wants me to hit that green one. Now the next one that comes on, and then the last one that came on up there. Again, everything's timed in these drills. So 16.94. And I'm not going for time on this. I'm just doing a demonstration. So if we go to program, this is now program 3. It says hit 4. I really don't recall what program 4 does. So we're going to see here when I click start. So it's counting down from 4. So they're lighting up. And I think if you don't shoot one, okay, so that was 6.81 seconds. I'll do that one again because I think if you don't shoot the target, it disappears. So we're going to try it. So start, counts down from 4. First one that comes on, I'm not going to shoot it. Yeah, it goes away. So you're kind of limited. See how they just, and that's it. They give you 8 seconds. And I didn't hit any in 8 seconds, obviously. But that's what that program does. So program 4 says hit 4. So if I click start, I'm just going to let it run. I'm not going to try to run through the program. I just want to see what this one does. So green, red, you don't want to shoot. Green, you want to shoot. Red, you don't want to shoot. Green, you want to shoot. So they're coming on randomly, green and red. So you want to make sure you got to hit 4. You only want to hit the greens, and you don't want to hit the reds when they come on. For me, having to cycle my slide the way that I do to reset my trigger, I'm not fast enough on this drill to actually complete it. And I'll demonstrate that if I click start. Green, green, oh, and then I turn on my light. Red. Well, didn't get that one. So, I mean, it's already done. They give you 4 seconds to get 4 targets. And again, they go green and red. So you have to, I'll try it one more time. Start. I'm on. Missed it. Missed it. Oh, I got 1. Cycle my slide. So I got 1 in 3.92 seconds. So that's a tough one. But again, once I get something that'll actually cycle the slide, reset my trigger, you can go faster. So the next one's program 5. Program 5 says hit 2 targets. I think this is a hard one too. Actually, you know what? It's not. I think 5, what it wants you to do is it wants you to hit 1 target, and then it starts the timer, and then hit a second target to stop the timer so you can see your speed between target 1 and target 2. So I'm going to click start. It's counting down from 4. And then you got to cycle. Yep, that didn't cycle right. Oh, you know what? I'm wrong. So P5, it wants you to shoot each target 2 times. So it'll go out. So it's like a double tap, but you really can't double tap when you're pulling your slide back each time you're firing. All right, and that was 26.39 seconds. So the last program's program 6. If I click start, it just says ready. It flashes ready. So it's waiting for me to hit the first target. So I'm going to do this guy down here, that one, and that one. These 2 next to each other to try to get it as fast as I can. So if I hit him, and then I come back and hit him. So my time on that was 1.58 seconds. So when I was using the Coolfire trainer, where it would actually throw my slide back from the CO2 cartridge, my fastest time that I did between two targets was 0.21, which I thought was pretty good. So obviously 1.58 is me firing, cycling my slide to reset my trigger, and that's it. That's the 6 programs for that system. So what's kind of cool though is you can actually set them up around the house. Turn the lights back on. Yeah. Set them up around the house, just train. That's what we're doing. You're just dry fire training. These do run on just AA batteries. I doubt they take much energy to run. I could be wrong though, because it is connecting to that module wirelessly. So I'll turn this guy off up here. Turn this one off here. So the company Laser Ammo that made the first thing that I talked about in the office for the cartridge itself that's in the firearm, they're the ones that also make that system. So the other dry fire training system that I use is on my actual screen up here. So this is my computer monitor that I use for the business that we have out here. So the website is Dry Fire Online. I think you can see that on the screen up there. So I'm currently signed in. Very interesting. You'd have to go and look at the site. They have a quick start, stage builder, the manual, how do you use the site. You can shop, you can go to My Stages. It's like when you do stage builder, this is a stage that I was tinkering around with. I think I might have to come up here a little bit so you can see the screen better. Let me move the monitor back. So this stage was, they called it Ghost Town, but to me it doesn't look like a ghost town. It looks more like somewhere off in the Middle East. And then the targets are called thugs. So if I click on one of these targets, he's target number 3. So, but if you go on to the details for that target, now this is where you're choosing, what kind of target do you want to put on the field or the stage. You can see there's a ton of them. You can do steel plates, you can do the USPSAs, the IPSCs, IDPAs. I mean, it goes on forever. So, and you can use these targets. Like, let's say I change this one to the USPSA Sheriff. So now it's changed it to that. How tall is the target to the top edge? 5.5 feet. What's the distance in yards? We can say 10 yards, roughly 30 feet. Sideways distance. Presence, is it always there? You can set percentages to when it'll actually show or not show. When it's hit, and the laser training only, what happens to it? So you can make it where it disappears. You can have it stop the stage, stop moving. So that's another thing, is your targets can be static or you can set them to be moving. So you can start a stage. Someone can start from back here, the little barrier, and then have a thug come out, and you can determine when you set it to moving, you move to a specific waypoint, and you can put in speeds or seconds. How many seconds does it take him to go from here over to here, and that'll determine how fast he goes across the screen. So, a lot of variables. The stage, again, you can change, whether you're using, this one's called Ghost Town, but you can say, there's Yellowstone, say you're out in the mountains, Monument Valley, a warehouse, concrete hall, so a lot of different things that you can do. Firing range, so say you're going to do the firing range, go back to targets, kind of hard to hold the camera and do this. But then again, you could take these guys out. Click on him and delete. Are you sure you want to delete the target? He's gone. So then you can put in targets on these areas, using the US PSA targets, which are more like this style for target shooting. But I'm not going to make any changes. So when I leave the builder, it's going to say, do I want to leave? There's unsafe changes. I don't want to save any changes. So far I've only created 2 stages. I've got the US PSA 10 yards and then that one called Thug. So if you click on change, it'll take you to the builder to make changes to it, or you can click start. You can also share it. You have to copy the URL to it, and then you can paste that URL in an email or to a message to somebody that that uses this system, and they can actually use that stage, which is actually kind of cool. But that's the setup of it. So let me go back to here. So you have to use your cell phone. I'm going to set it up on there so you can see that. So I use a tripod. For an iPhone. And I put my iPhone on the tripod. And then I run on their phone, there's an app. I'll show you the app here. This is the app on the phone. It says safety check, unload your gun, follow firearm safety rules. I confirm that my gun is unloaded. So this then comes up. We're going to get this positioned. I'm going to move the camera here so you can see it that way. At least a little bit. So I'm going to move this up to about there. Oops. You definitely don't want your phone falling out of it. Once it's set up, you're pretty much good to go. So 2 things you need to do with it, though, is you need to connect. So it says it's connected, but I'm going to disconnect because I don't believe it's connected. So on the screen over there, I'm going to go ahead and on the US PSA 10 yard, I'm going to go ahead and click start. Maybe I'm going to see it better on that. Nah, it's blurry. Safety check, unload your gun, follow firearm safety rules. Don't be that guy. I confirm that my gun is unloaded. So now we connect your camera. It says your camera is not connected to your training session. Please connect it now using the connection ID below. So we're going to click on connect. And it puts in 0888. I click connect. So now the systems are connected. So the next thing you do is you click on the icon that says calibrate. No. Oh, you know what? I clicked on the wrong one. I clicked on clicked on the disconnect. You click on calibrate. So, and then when you're in this mode, you want to zoom in as much as you can. I'm going to put the camera down for just a sec. Let's see. How's that? You want to get as much of the camera, there we go, as much of that screen in view. And then in this top corner, there's a button that says auto calibrate. You'll see it do like a green screen. And then if you look on here, there's a purple line that goes around my monitor now. So that's where it's calibrated to. So on the computer screen, I come over here and I say, looks good. So now it's doing a camera calibration. I'm going to pause this. So it changes the darkness of my camera. And now it's ready for the round. So, excuse me. Put this down here. You might not be able to see the shots too well to the target, but it'll give you a generalized idea. So on the screen, there's a pause button that I've got it paused right now. So normally if it's not paused, it'll go through the rounds. It'll, your prepare time will pass, and then depending on your audio settings, it'll put audio in, the gunshot sounds, shooter ready, standby, beep. So I'm gonna go ahead and click continue, and this is actually gonna start the round. So, and I think you've got 15 seconds, and it's just shoot the target and try to get in the A zone, which is the center mass of the target. So I'm gonna go ahead and click continue.
Shooter ready. Stand by. First shot, 0.93 seconds. Full time, 29.02 seconds.
So I've got it configured to do, it's on pause, so it shouldn't go. If you have this unpaused, it'll automatically just go to the next round after 5 seconds. So for me, I like to pause it. It gives me time to look at it. Ammo, time. It's kind of hard to see because it's back in the back, but you can see my grouping back there on the target. It's all in the A zone. So, and the way it's being tracked is my cell phone is watching the screen. So, and it's recording it that way. So, and it's really accurate. I have a green dot, a Holosun green dot, and literally I'm putting my green dot right in that A zone, and boom, it's hitting them. So some of my targets don't work in certain scenes because TVs have a reflective surface, and the lasers just kind of absorb into it. So I have ordered a filter that'll go on this screen that's a matte filter that kind of dulls it out, and hopefully it's going to allow me to use more of the stages and targets where it'll actually see my shots. So why I use the US PSA targets is they're light colored, and it allows the rounds to be seen, when you're firing on it. So, and you can use it with a projector. I've got a 110-inch projection screen and a projector that I'll normally set up on this side of the garage. I'll stand back on that side and do my training that way. But again, that's the system. So I'm going to click back. Back on my stages. So I'll do the Thug one. Problem with the Thug one is it doesn't always record one of the shots, and it might be where he's at on the target, but I've got them configured that when I shoot them, that they actually disappear. So you'll see that functionality. So I'm going to click on confirm my gun is unloaded. It's going to do a little camera calibration for lighting. Shooter ready. Again, I've got it paused. If the pause wasn't on, it would have just automatically gone into the round. And it's nice sometimes when you're training, but because I'm doing the demonstration, it gives me time to talk and point things out. The one guy that doesn't always disappear, he's on the far side right there when I shoot at him. It's like the round doesn't even register on the screen, and I think it's because of I need that filter. So we're going to click continue.
Shooter ready. Stand by.
Oh, I got him. And see, that one didn't register. That one did. That one did. That one did. I'm trying him one more time. Nope. And I ran it.
1.17 seconds. Total time, 1.58 seconds.
So first shot was 1.17 seconds, total time 11.58 seconds. So for whatever reason, I couldn't shoot that guy back there. I was on him, but sometimes the screen, I'm just going to click continue and try him again.
Stand by.
Got him that time, but now it won't let me do that guy. Well, it did. Ooh, I was off on that one. Ooh, I did bad on that one.
1.42 seconds. Total time 2.68 seconds.
That's it. So I'm going to go ahead and end my video here. Again, this was just a brief, I say brief, but my videos go on forever. I think this is like, I don't even know how long it is. It's long. That's just the reality of me making a video. I'm not a big video guy. I don't do a whole bunch of videos, so I'm a rambling man. So, anyway, if you're interested in, if you have a firearm, realistically, you should be training often. My camera to come back on. You should be training routinely. Again, the one that I'm using on my computer is Dry Fire Online. Their website is dryfireonline.com. It is a subscription-based service, so I think there's a free version, but if you want a lot of the other stuff that comes along with it, they have a subscription-based, which I pay for the subscription. And the other company is, let me get my mouse to come back to life, is Laser Ammo Training Technologies. And their website is laserammo.com. You can buy the laser cartridges. You can buy laser cartridge kits. But they also have simulators and targets. And I, again, demonstrated what are their interactive targets, which cost-wise, the interactive targets are the set or the kit. Let's see, if you buy the entire set, it's about $400. So the IMTTS 5-pack combo box is $400. So, and then the laser cartridge kit that I showed you that I bought was their Sure Strike Ultimate LE Edition, which again gives you the 223, your 9mm, your 45, and your 40, the barrel extender type dealio, all the good stuff. That's $199, so $200 for that. But again, you need to train. Hope this video was helpful. I'm probably going to post more content like this over here on my the Swollen Monkey channel. And then I'll still post videos over on our Custom Made by Us channel. I'll link that in the description below if you want to check that out. Again, that's more regarding to the type of business that I have here in my garage. So it has nothing to do with what I demonstrated today. So hopefully it helped you. If you liked my video, give it a thumbs up. Do click on that button to subscribe to my channel, and click the notification bell so you'll get notified when I post new content. And I appreciate you watching my videos, and we'll see you on the next video. Have a good night.